Saturday, there's magic in the air, cause CBS Saturday morning is smoking. Surf the internet with an intergalactic superhero.
That's Hyperman! Get him!
The all-new Adventures of Hyperman. It's all new and animated. Make way for the mask.
Somebody stop me!
The all-new Lion King's Timon and Pumbaa.
Hakuna Matata!
The twisted tales of Felix the cat. The bugs are bugging in Santo Bugito. The all-new high-flying adventures of Disney's Aladdin. Don't forget those ninja teens in turtle green, and that psycho sci guy Beakman is back. Starting next week, CBS Saturday morning is... Smoking!
Hey, let's wake, rattle, and roll. It's every Saturday morning.
And now,
Hey, good morning. I'm Adam.
And I'm Dusty. As we come together here each week, I'm just struck by the incredible depth of the work put into this the Saturday morning cartoon material. I just want to say that the individuals that do it are just beyond reproach to me.
It's true. It's truly the birth of a miracle via a hand. Having said that, let's make fun of the schedule and pick apart some of these dumb shows. It's 1995.
Woo! Spooky.
Yes, it is a terrifying year. The 90s are really cooking. Here's the list of sequels that came out since this is our second 1995 episode.
Oh, this is interesting.
Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. That may have been the one where they fist. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Wait, that is the one where they fist?
Batman Forever, because he fisted. Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flash. Children of the Corn 3. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Father of the Bride 2. Free Willy 2, which I think we knew. The Adventure Home. Halloween 6. Howling 7. And, of course, Apollo 13. This is the central broadcast station. So the top shows on CBS were The Nanny... Murphy Brown, Walker, Texas Ranger, and Chicago Hope.
Chicago everything.
Just a list of classics.
The C-section in the history of television show names.
Let's start our morning at 8 a.m. Let's watch a little show called The Adventures of Hyperman.
Surf the internet with an intergalactic superhero. The all-new Adventures of Hyperman.
Well, time to go, Hyper.
Based on a 95 IBM CD-ROM game. The kind of point-and-click thing you'd find on LucasArts. It's like Day of the Tentacle. I was not upset I couldn't find an episode of this.
No.
This is a lost media show. There's 13 episodes, none of which have been found.
The idea of lost media to me is just nuts. I don't know. I had a couple of notes on it, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you find out?
First of all, his dog's name is Stud Puppy.
Yep. Sounds hot.
What's going on? I'm sure it was from the game, but...
Hyperman needs a wingman, and Stud Puppy, I'm assuming, gets him dates. Hyperman's like a speed dater. I assume this is all about repopulating some sort of dystopian
universe.
Future. Yeah. There's no people.
Stud has 2 Ds.
Yep.
Which is so 1995.
But did you know who did the voice of Stud Puppy?
No, who?
It's me, Doug, your friend, Vinny. Max Casella.
No way,
From
really?
Doogie Howser, MD, and Ed Wood.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
The voice of Hyperman was Steve McCall, who was also Marsupilami, and did voices on the earthquake replacement attraction at Universal Studios Florida Disaster. Also, Maurice LaMarche is here. Maim Bialik, Blossom does a voice.
I saw that.
Tamara, but not Tiara Mowry from Sister Sisters. And of course, Neil Ross did voices on here. You may know as Bone Crusher, Hook, Springer, Point Blank, and Fracas.
Incredibly important Transformers.
And that's all the info I have on Hyperman because...
Oh, is it? You don't have anything else, Adam?
No! I couldn't find anything, and the more I dug, the less I wanted to know. The game, it was hard to watch. Like, the footage was not...
Oh, you actually watched that?
Fun. Yeah, I didn't care for that.
I want to ask you this like a question, but as soon as I do, you'll know the answer.
Okay.
Who was the voice director on Hyperman?
No way.
Yep, you know it.
Susan Blue?
Susan Blue!
On Hyperman?
Can you believe it? I told you I had
Well, at least something came out of this.
This just in from the future. We were able to finally view Hyperman. It is a beach-centric superhero Dudley Do-Right fucker by way of the Burger King Kids Club. Continue sleeping. End of transmission.
I must have fallen asleep because I don't remember Hyperman at all, and it's already 8:30.
Yeah.
Which means it's time for Timon and Pumbaa. What a adequate representation of the material.
There's a lot of singing.
Yeah, there's songs on this show. The theme's Hakuna Matata.
Nathan Lane comes back a little bit.
Nathan Lane shares the voice of Timon with Kevin Shawn, who still does Timon on the Lion Guard spinoff, and was also the voice of Pongo on the 101 Dalmatians show. And amongst other things. This is the global adventures of the two funniest characters from The Lion King. 3 seasons, plus a syndicated package. So it's on 6 out of 7 days a week. That's a lot of Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, really.
Coming to this station, 2 very different creatures of the African plain, united by one delicate sound.
Pumbaa, not in front of the kids.
Season 2, the first episode is wacky, almost like the Ren and Stimpy Scotsman. Timon and Pumbaa travel off, and there's a guy who looks like Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
But he's got a different name, and he comes in, and he's almost like the old man in the Ren and Stimpy, you know. And
Oh, Wilbur Cobb.
Somebody's dead.
and it's just downright bizarre, you know. And then so I went back and watched season 1, and season 1 was very much just like the movie.
Huh.
And I've actually just wanted to say I really thought season 2 was way cooler.
Well, actually, this is another cartoon. I knew Ken Matroni, who was a storyboard artist on here, and so I watched a couple of ones he did, and there is kind of a Ren and Stimpy vibe to this show. These characters translate pretty well to, you know, stick them somewhere. Even though it makes no sense, it's totally viable with these two.
Mm-hmm. I feel like almost like they didn't realize it at first.
I watched the episode Mombasa-in-Law, where Timon's mom is coming to visit and doesn't approve of her son's Hakuna Matata lifestyle.
Really?
So,
what is it, like La Vida Loca?
Timon concocts a bunch of lies to impress her and tells her that he's married, forces Pumbaa to dress as his wife Patty. It's insane.
Sitcom trope.
His big fat mom visits. She sounds like Estelle Harris, George Costanza's mom. She tries to move in, and Pumbaa dresses up as the rest of Patty's family, just running in and out wearing insane costumes. It's actually pretty funny. And at the end, it turns out it wasn't really Timon's mom, but their practical joke playing friend Fred.
Fred? My practical joking friend, Fred?
Who they tie to a rocket and send into space.
What? That's how it ends? That still sounds kind of Ren and Stimpy-esque.
It's better than Schnookums and Meat. It's alright. Let's see, there's an arch enemy con man named Quint, who's Corey Burton. We've seen a lot of. There's also a penguin, a beaver, a rabbit, a toucan, and the vulture police. Pumbaa, this is the returning Ernie Sabella, who you'll remember as Mr. Carosi from Saved by the Bell.
Of course.
Summer season. Supporting cast, Simba. It's been replaced by Cam Clark, who is Ninja Turtles Leo and Rocksteady.
Oh, right.
Can you feel the love tonight, boss?
Rafiki is still Robert Guillaume.
Benson.
Zazu has been replaced, Rowan Atkinson, with Michael Gow, who also does Gopher from Winnie the Pooh turns up on this show, too.
I saw that.
I can't believe that character. I'm back. I'm not in this book either. And the hyenas are back. Jim Cummings returns as Ed.
Yep.
But Truss McNeil replaces Whoopi Goldberg as Shenzi, and Rob Paulson replaces Cheech as Banzai. And I also watched a hyena short where they are trying to get a documentary made about them where they can get fed. When that doesn't work, they eat him. Ken Matroni did the storyboard on this, and it's really silly. And this is why I know he did it. There's like a Bob Hope character. This show has funny posing, good drawings, and pretty solid animation for like a Looney Tune approach.
You know, artistically, I think a lot of the Disney ones in this lineup succeed.
I'd watch a few more just to see like how elastic this universe is.
I gave it two stars. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just out of 4.
Couldn't quite get it up.
You know, I'd actually go back. I'd watch this. This is not that bad.
I think it's secretly pretty competent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So let's keep powering into Disney cartoons at 9 o'clock. Season 3 of Aladdin.
Get ready for the all-new high-flying adventures of Disney's Aladdin. Gotcha. Next on CBS.
I do not like this this cartoon. It's such a decline from the movie, which is gorgeous. It's weird because many of these were directed by Alan Zaslav. He's like old school. He's from like Gerald McBoing Boing, the Alvin Show era. But starting with the theme song, okay, points for using Arabian Nights.
For anybody that doesn't know, we got the voice of Homer Simpson as the genie.
That's true. Everybody's back from the movie except Robin Williams. The amount of time someone goes, Aladdin! They say it so much. You might as well be Carol Ann.
They lean on Gilbert Gottfried so hard.
Did someone say Gilbert Gottfried?
He talks more than the genie.
They play him off like fucking Garfield. That's gotta hurt.
He's the crab ass.
But at least he's not this new character, Eden, the green female genie, voiced by Valerie Pappas, Genie's girlfriend.
Oh.
So genies aren't special. Now, there's at least 3 genies on this show already.
It's low impact to be a genie boyfriend because you just go back in the bottle for like 1,000 years. It's like,
just wait her out.
Every 1,000 years.
This is brutal. There's new bad guys on this show. There's Mirage, a cat-like enchantress voiced of Bebe Neuwirth from Cheers. Abysmal, Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. I Am a Ghoul by Hamilton Camp. And this one's interesting. Mosenrath, this kind of sorcerer, but he looks and acts like Kylo Ren. He was voiced by Jonathan Brandis.
Really?
Wait, who I didn't know did that much voice work.
I didn't either.
I'm glad he got one in there.
Huh. I wonder, I almost feel like he's done some DC stuff. I need to check on that.
I watched the episode 2 to Tangle, where Mosenrath is dying, and he plans to switch bodies with Aladdin, and the gang's playing croquet on dinosaurs, which, I don't know. At this point, Genie's like Merlin at the end of Sword in the Stone. Aladdin is about to do Jasmine in the garden when she turns into Mosenrath. Oh, buzzkill.
Oh, no. I kissed that.
And he's trying to pull, a body switch and get stuck all of me style. He makes Abu cry. He gets grabby with Jasmine. At one point, Aladdin said, "He's inside me."
He's inside me. Inside you?
The crew seeks out the elixir of light to fight evil sand whales and get Aladdin's spirit free. He expels Mo from his chest and sends him off into a hot air balloon cage.
I wouldn't have an elixir.
Yeah, why do we at this point?
Why risk that? The Gottfried and Homer show. Like,
oh, hey, Gilbert.
Robert Guillaume appears on this show too.
Really?
Yeah.
As Rafiki?
Yeah, this is inferior to Timon and Pumbaa.
Definitely.
Whether you're watching the original episodes of Timon and Pumbaa, which are more like the movie, or you're watching the second season, which is more abstract, either one's going to be better than this.
I didn't care for Return of Jafar. It just felt like this took a lot to get it to a series, to make more plot for it.
I would not.
What a stretch! But thank God it's 9:30 and that's over, and we can move on to something in its autumn years. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Saturday mornings, blast into the action zone. Coming! A beefed-up mutant green machine is back. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, next on CBS.
Season 9 of 10.
You thought we were going to sing the original song, but we don't, because we're on season 9. Yeah.
That's the sound of the spaceship.
That's how the new theme song sounds.
And plus there's clips from the movies.
Yeah.
What?
That really threw me off.
Also, the sky is now red.
Right, the red skies. Because this
sky's always red, and rain or shine.
Apparently, when they decided the show should take a darker turn, they decided to make the skies red.
A dark red turn?
And so the fans refer to these episodes as the Red Sky episodes, and they are darker, and the turtles, show more ninjutsu? I'm not sure about that.
April O'Neil is now a freelance reporter. Channel 6 having, I believe, exploded last season.
Exploded, and it was pinned on the turtles.
Oh boy.
So
looks like your turtle friends just caused Channel 6 to explode, April.
They're on the run or whatever.
There's a less silly tone overall now. Michelangelo in particular, I feel like was neutered, and he also doesn't use nunchucks anymore. He uses a grappling hook. He's gotten a little preachy.
Yeah.
Hey, get a mammogram, dudes. Gotta be safe. But I think this is the cardinal sin of this season: no Krang or Shredder.
Oh yes, no Krang or Shredder, because they are banished to Dimension X, and instead you get a replacement and his name is Lord Dreg.
Ugh.
And he's the Dregs.
Waiter, it's your star to the wrong wagon.
They fixed that next season.
That's right, they come back.
Yeah.
None of us neither, boss. I guess we can just unlax till we come back.
I thought that what I read was that in season 9, Rocksteady and Bebop appear and they're smarter than they were.
Yeah, we got a whole brain now.
But then there's a continuity problem, because when I read about season 10, it said that Bebop and Rocksteady come back from Dimension X with Shredder
Yeah,
and
I
Krang.
thought they were all together. Would they go get regular jobs for a season?
How can I help you today?
The alien Lord Dreg is voiced by Tony J, who was Shere Khan on Tailspin.
Whoa.
Chairface on The Tick. He was Megabyte on Reboot. He was Dr. Lipschitz on Rugrats. Hello there. Oh, your children must always be free. Don't watch that.
He likes to be on the lighter side of things.
I watched the premiere, The Unknown Ninja. Donatello invents the Turtle Cam, which is a ridiculously huge camera on top of a helmet. And a spaceship materializes with Lord Dreg. We learn they need gold to blah, blah, blah. They jump off the turtle blimp and land on buildings. They fight off Lord Dreg's bug brigade. Then we offhandedly find out Donatello that they are mutating again. They're unstable. I guess that means they're gonna Hulk out a bit.
I don't like this aspect.
I don't get what it really does.
Is there a reason because I didn't see one put forth?
This season, they also meet Carter, a vigilante who is searching for Hamato Yoshi in order to learn the foot style. He meets Splinter.
He also has a mutation disease.
He gets some alien gunk thrown on him and mutates with some equipment. Says the phrase that I'm sure this is another Saturday morning phrase we'll hear. I'm changing! Into a big yellow mohawk guy with a purple loincloth. His clothes tend to mutate away and come back when he's fully dressed. The turtles use the phrase, we'll deal with him later, which I think is another one.
Oh no, that is one.
Carter's a Teenage Mutant Ninja human, will train under Splinter. He's kind of like the Incredible Hulk meets Kino from Turtles 2.
Every show seemed like they had to add a human.
This show is the B movie of Saturday morning. If you liked it before, why stop now?
No me, I walk.
Mm-hmm. That was a big mistake.
I can't believe this was on for 10 years. But you know what? I bet something worse is on right after this at 10 o'clock, top of the hour.
Oh.
Somebody stop this. It's The Mask.
Somebody stop me!
Season 1 of 3 of these.
Smoking asterisk.
This was the show I had to fast forward a little through because it was just so grating. Based on the 1994 film minus Cameron Diaz.
Right.
The animated version of a filthy adult film. It's not Toxic Crusaders, but it did feature used condoms and sodomy jokes. First Strike. The theme song is not Cuban Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Failed.
It's surprisingly
it's some swing shit, right?
I don't know. It's too complex.
In my head, it's like if the Tick theme didn't try. If Swing Dance could sigh, that's what the theme sounds like.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the Coco Bongo we knew.
Yeah, I think that it does make an appearance. Mm-hmm. The end of the film has kind of been redacted and the characters reshuffled. Rob Paulson, again, he's playing the Jim Carrey role. He's actually the only thing really flying on all cylinders in this thing. He's a lot of people.
And while I'm thinking about it, Adam, Rob Paulson was quoted as saying, I'm playing Jim Carrey just for a lot much less bread.
That's right. He's playing him and The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Welker's back as Milo, the dog.
Yeah, Milo. Isn't that amazing?
Neil Ross as Lieutenant Calloway, who's constantly trying to finger Stanley as the Mask. Amy Yazbek has been replaced by Heidi Shannon as reporter Peggy Brandt. Charlie Schumacher is in the Richard Jenny role. And Ben Stein, of course, returns.
Yeah, Ben Stein's back. So the Mask himself, this is Yakko? Man.
Which is weird. They do like an Animaniacs parody on here at some point.
Yep, they sure do.
I don't think it was this season, so I didn't watch it, but...
They call it like the Gloopoglomniacs.
Fusifa Goople Goop.
Apparently they did a lot of parodies on this show.
So what is this? Because it's not the movie, really. It feels sort of like a crappy Ninja Turtles. Why are there so many villains on this show? And they're all mutants.
Yeah.
Tim Curry shows up as a
right.
character called Dr. Preterius. If you've seen Bride Frankenstein, get it?
Great.
His head's on a spider body.
Tim Curry pops into the weirdest cartoon.
There was another villain called Lonnie the Shark, who was voiced by Glenn Shaddix Otho from Beetlejuice.
Nice.
There are way too many veiny bad guys on this show trying to beat up the Jim Carrey character for The Mask. Why do so many people know about The Mask?
What they've done here is they've taken the movie The Mask and they've crammed it into a traditional sitcom architecture.
The one I watched, Split Personality, he had to go to his high school reunion. That's pretty sitcom-y. Like, the high school bully comes back, he breaks the mask in two, so him and the bully have a piece of the mask. And I was impressed just how much Rob Paulson pulled off talking to himself. That's never easy, especially when it's like a barely different voice.
It's almost like they were trying to avoid being the Ace Ventura cartoons. So they were like, on this show, he's not gonna look and sound completely like Jim Carrey.
Whereas I think on Ace Ventura, he's really talking that way.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've been told. Find some shorts and grab a hold. Wedgie! Hands off the brakes, Bob. I don't want your undergarments. I just want to see if the planets revolve around your moon.
Yeah. He looks really ambiguous, first of all. He looks like the most standard.
He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. I just thought this looked really bad.
It does look very
bad. And it
bad.
moved really frustratingly. It was like watching a show be constipated. It couldn't take advantage of the cartoon element. It reminded me of Bonkers. They never really took advantage of it. And in fact, the reality world was just as goofy as the Mask's abilities.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
What are the stakes here?
The reality world seemed to bend time and space, too, which kind of nullifies what the Mask does. I don't know, a few things that surprised me about this show. They do have the wooden version of the Mask. That still happens.
Right.
Every episode, it's got like Rob Schneider disease. A baby finds the mask. A dog wears the mask. And in this episode, a stapler. You know where I'm going with this. The one word I got here for the art is uninspired.
All over the place. Pick a tone.
Yeah.
There's like Tex Avery rules, but no Tex Avery animation, so it's really frustrating. Mask travels like Taz.
Yep. As soon as the baby gets the mask, it turns into a Taz tornado.
There's some cartoon butts, so that was notable. I'm interested in the Mask Ace Ventura crossover.
On this show?
I think part one, the last episode of The Mask is part one, and the first episode of like season 2 of Ace Ventura is. Because I believe Milo goes missing.
He says, smoking is bad for your health.
To smoke in.
Like, they make him disclaimer it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not in the intro, because the intro ends with him saying smoking, so they must have worked it out. But during the episode, at one point, he says, smoking is bad for your health. He does stuff a woman's mouth full of cigars.
Oh my God.
And lights them, I think. Or I don't know.
That's assault. You know what? The Mask, the movie, came out the year before, and by the time this comes out, I could not give less of a crap about The Mask anymore.
The first time I watched Liar, Liar, I feel like I laughed my ass off. And then the second time I watched Liar, Liar, I didn't think it was funny at all.
I cried my ass off.
I think a lot of stuff. I think The Mask is the same way.
I thought you were going to say, I kept waiting for him to put on the mask.
No, I just think it doesn't.
That would solve this liar curse.
It has no rewatchability.
I bet another movie got made into a cartoon show this morning. It's 10:30. Roll over, Beethoven. Oh! One season, I believe it was reran for like 2 years. The theme sounds like a board game, and it looks like a board game commercial.
The themes all kind of run together to me, but it's just something like, oh, it's Beethoven, and he's doing some shit. Look at Beethoven.
It's animated really well. That opening was
better than
good looking. See, here's the thing. It's hard to be harsh after What a Mess. The line work is sharp. It has great color. I like the designs. I don't care what's happening. I didn't care much for the 92 film.
Who did?
I liked Bingo, the punk rock dog. I think I saw Turner and Hooch, which also could have made a better show than this.
I've actually got Hot Garbage. This show's Hot Garbage. It's terrible. Artistically, I wrote right here, one lamp, because I did see one lamp that I was like, oh, I like the way they painted that lamp.
All right.
You know?
All right.
But do you know, and in this show, he has a sidekick named Sparky. This guy should have been nowhere near the show. I'll tell you exactly who it was. It was Joey
Pants. That's right.
Yeah.
How's it going?
He didn't just do one episode.
Remember when we were supposed to get your teeth fixed, but Mom spent the money on Beethoven's teeth.
I wish that, it had been more like Memento.
I thought this show kind of looked like a better designed Baby Blues. Dad's got a big fat nose.
And the mom's got 90s hair.
Yeah, it's the Newton family. George, who Charles Grodin, of course, immortalized. But in the show, Dean Jones plays him. He was in That Darn Cat, The Love Bug, and $1 Million Duck.
But he's not doing a Charles Grodin impression.
Yeah, and what would that be? J.D. Daniels is who was Peter from the Mighty Ducks. Plays a kid. Francesca Mary Smith, who was Helga from Hey Arnold. Nicole Tom returns from is the only returning person from the film as Rice.
Oh, right, yeah. Only one.
Reese, I don't know what.
One person returned. The youngest kid looks like Cindy Lou Who.
And the voice of Beethoven, Joel Murray, who was in Baby Blues, but also Bobcat Goldthwait's God Bless America, where he kills all the reality personalities. And he was on Shameless, where he was sodomized by Joan Cusack.
That's how every Shameless story goes.
And no, David Duchovny's character does not return constantly having his barbecue ruined here. That's not part of the plot. I would have kind of been into that.
The questions you want to know. Hey, you know who else appeared here, Adam? You know Renee Auberjonois?
Who's she?
Well, it's a guy.
Who's he?
He's the mustachioed guy on Benson.
Okay.
And he did a bunch of Star Trek on Deep Space Nine. He's Odo.
Okay.
The changeling. He voiced some of these Beethoven episodes.
There were a couple other voice artists on here that I was shocked.
Did you get a feel like, and this happens several times during the show, right? Even during the intro, when he goes, Beethoven. Does that remind you of anything?
Beethoven!
Like Dave yelling at the chipmunks?
Oh, you're right.
Beethoven!
Oh, man. This is just a smelly dog show. Why isn't this a Kevin James movie? Because Beethoven is essentially Kevin James. He's like, I don't want to eat my dog food. I'm going to eat the people food they always throw to me. It was so cheap.
How come they get to eat the people food? What do you think, Sparky?
How come I got to eat Adam Sandler's scraps?
I know you're not too good on the phone there, Beethoven.
Hey, why don't you relax? Yeah, why is Joey Pants on this cartoon? It's so bizarre.
These dogs in Beethoven are kind of oddly off.
Beethoven had kids, right?
I mean, some of the dogs in this lineup, like Milo.
Oh, I see.
Like, why didn't Milo look more like Milo? I don't know.
They couldn't get the rights to that dog.
That's what I'm saying.
They should have contacted Mushroom, who played Barney the dog in Gremlin.
Mushroom.
I'll put him in my spin cycle if I get a hold of him. Roll over, Beethoven. I'm sure we'll get to revisit you again because you're on for another year. I will give it to Beethoven. I thought the colors were awesome. I like this better than the movie it was based on.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't really. Don't go out of your way.
But it's top of the hour, and I really want to talk about this. The Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat is on.
He's chillin', he's spillin', he's totally thrillin'. The all-new Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat.
This is season 1 of 2. Man, this show's great.
Yeah, Adam, you know what? I couldn't agree more.
I want to watch this cartoon so much.
This show, this clearly written for adults.
My jaw hit the floor when I turned this on.
These reboots keep storming us, like Beanie and Cecil being good.
This is the closest I think we ever are going to get to a Fleischer-based Saturday morning show that's all rubber hose. I couldn't believe how much dinky dancing creatures. So this is a modern take on the 1958 series produced by Otto Messmer's former assistant and his son. It's reputed as the most expensive cartoon film Roman ever produced.
Wow, really?
And you can kind of tell there's not like an abundance of shadow or detail. This was a delightful show.
You're entered into the world of Felix, which is a really super trippy and stylistic world. And it's almost like Felix is the avatar for you. And then Felix's girlfriend is like a tour guide to this weird world, and she kind of has rejoinders. Like Felix and his girlfriend show up in a new area, and she's like, "Hey, Daddy!" But and it's like, and she says something, and then next thing you know, like the walls come alive.
This looks like Toontown or Wacky Land rather. So there's surreal settings, anthropomorphic objects, cartoon logic, and extreme randomness. The creative director was Timothy Bjorklund, who did the Teacher's Pet movie.
Bjork.
The cast, Tom Adcox was Felix the Cat, but I guess in season 2 he's replaced by Charles Adler, Susan Silo, Jess Harnell, Jim Cummings, and Jim Shawn, all under the voice direction of one Susan Blue.
Get the hell out.
You mean the mother from Friday the 13th Part 7?
That's right. You're torturing my daughter.
So at one point, Felix and his girlfriend enter a mansion, a haunted mansion or something like that. And then a character says, walk this way.
Uh-oh.
And he makes a funny walk. And then Felix says, nuh-uh, I'm not doing it.
No.
Oh my God.
He should have flipped the bird.
That was so meta, man. I love that. I love it.
And the episode titles were really long and insane, too. This episode was called Guardian Idiot Space Time Twister Don't String Me Along. It starts at a restaurant called Gut Bombs, where Dancing Meat sings along.
Oh my God.
So we're in this restaurant where the proprietor is jamming live pigs into a hot dogger machine, which spits out wieners that are also alive and singing that well-dressed pigs then eat. He's then out of meat in the freezer. His eyes sniff out Felix, literally, who he, of course, wants to serve now. Felix, guardian angel, sends him on a cruise on a sunken ship full of pirate skeletons. He's then sent to the desert, a waterfall, chased by clowns, and back to the restaurant. The cook is turned into a laughing hot dog. Iris out.
Wow.
Man, this show's cool. Colorful, vibrant.
Oh my God, it's so stylish. I couldn't recommend it more. I gave it a 4. This is a must-see out of this lineup.
Some of the directors on this show were amazing. One of the most prominent was Lynn Naylor, who was part of Spumco and Ren and Stimpy and Mighty Mouse. Other directors included Doug Lawrence from Rocco and Dominic Policino from Simpsons and Family Guy. I can't recommend this enough.
Yeah, me either. You should totally see this. It's very cool.
Trippy. Anyway, it's 11:30, so Santo Bugito.
They're bugging out.
You're making us sick.
In the town of Santo Bugito. Today on CBS.
13 episodes of the Klasky Chupo forgotten insect-based series that takes place in a border town between Texas and Mexico.
Yeah.
Santa Bugito.
Yeah.
I know I love saying the name of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes that may be at the cost
This is an intense cartoon. This is at least as ugly as Real Monsters in terms of lumps and dirt to design.
It looks like Real Monsters, and
it's a real slice of life type stories, though.
Hey, it's different from the rest of this lineup.
It's like liquid television. I felt like I was, and it's a long theme too. It's set in a rataurant ran by the Anchez family, which also include customers like Two Stupid American Flies. Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
Cheech plays a hyperactive flea.
Oh, he's pretty damn good in this.
Yeah, weird that he's here, but he's not on the Lion King show.
I really like him on this show, actually. The joke mechanism is kind of like maybe It's a Bug's Life or Osmosis Jones, like jokes having to
Bug
do
Society.
with being a bug, what it's like being a bug.
Right. It's tough being a bug. There's a butterfly who's dating a boy who's still in his cocoon. In addition to Cheech, Henry Gibson plays a bug who ironically would love to see Charlotte the spider die. I'm sorry you're dead, Charlotte, but you were going to kill me. You may have been fooled, but you don't fool me.
And dude, it's got Larry from Newhart.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good catch. George Kennedy, Tony Plana, Joan Van Ark, and Candy Milo.
Wow.
I watched the episode Sioux City where a mosquito comes to town. She's a real bloodsucker, and she gets everybody to sue each other. And each time they employ her to sue,
Good one.
she sucks the blood out of them. And by the end, they're all really tired and drained. But they got Sioux fever. It's pretty funny. This felt like a Far Side cartoon.
It's got a great line style. I wrote, is this pre-Nickelodeon?
No. This feels like a cable cartoon.
It seems like this cartoon could be on HBO.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking. It's got a good Klasky Chupo design.
I would call this a surprise hit.
Yeah.
In this lineup. Like, I was honestly, again, I don't know what it is with me. I was expecting claymation or something.
I kind of recommend this one. It's silly enough.
Me too. It looks like Duckman. It's no Duckman.
It's weird that it takes place kind of in a bar, but there's no drinking jokes. Like, they avoid that.
It's almost like if you really enjoy ants. But yeah, I gave it a middle of the road.
Santa Bugito down Mexico way.
I wrote down 3 stars here.
Yeah, I'd agree to that. Maybe break it up into 2 cartoons. I didn't care for it being one long one.
I noticed that.
Because all of a sudden, it was 12 o'clock. And you'd think there wouldn't be anything else on, but there is. So turn around, look at what you see. It's the never-ending story. Or technically, the never-ending story, the animated adventures of Bastian Balthazar Buck. That just rolls off the tongue.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Did I need to know his middle name?
They were just
son of
They're just like, screw this. This isn't going to work anyway. Let's just name it this.
This was a one-season HBO co-produced with Canada's Nelvana, France's Ellipse, and Germany's Cinevox. Mm-hmm. Hey, Neverending Story fans, you don't need to check this out, I don't think. First of all, theme song is not the Neverending Story theme.
Yeah, what's up with that?
This show should start with but instead it's just generic action adventure music.
Am I to understand that this colorful villain is like kind of a reboot of somebody from the second movie?
It's like Zayed or something like that.
Yeah.
There's an evil sorceress who was also in Neverending Story 2. Ugh. The Nothing reoccurs as the main villain, but he's also Gmork.
Yeah.
So
that's, I mean, what the dude? If you like the movie, you're gonna be like, what the fuck's going on?
It's frustrating.
They merged two characters.
Yeah, because there's a hole in time and space with two red eyes, and occasionally this big old wolf comes out, kind of like Dot's pet. Also, the Rockbiter's stupid dinosaurs like family reappears. So wife and Junior are back. Artax is alive. Don Franks was the voice of Gmork. He was also Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
You know, as an offshoot to this, I noticed that the director went on to do something called Kong the Animated Series.
Oh, okay, so that's the King Kong cartoon.
And I want to check that out. So
I barely remember that.
As an offshoot to watching this crap fest, I'm going to go check out Kong. The one I watched, actually, I think I watched a few of these.
Okay.
And I saw A Mirror Universe, which is the biggest trope. They're constantly saying Childlike Empress.
Childlike Empress. I thought she had a name at the end of the first movie. It's
Moonstone. Or
That's me, yes.
I can never get a correct. I mean, I know the answer's out there. Like, it's definitely in the book. Her name.
It's Moon
something.
Moon.
You know? Yeah. But here they're just constantly like, so anyway, I got to go see the Childlike Empress. And
you
then,
mean Moon?
I was talking to the Childlike Empress. Don't watch
she's kind of childlike for an empress.
He's constantly talking about his Orin.
Yeah, that's rather personal, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you watch Parks and Rec, Adam?
Yeah.
Orin.
Oh, that's right.
That's all I can think. Everybody hates Orin.
Don't talk to anybody, Orin.
The art sucks. Oh, and then I got an arrow pointing to that, and it says Free Willy level art.
Oh, I thought it looked better than Free Willy. I feel like I'm watching The Princess Bride, the animated series, because the tone was way off.
Yeah. It doesn't resemble, even though a lot of this stuff is recurring from the movie, it doesn't resemble the movie. You know?
Yeah, the Snail Racer's back, voiced by John Docker, who's every bemused old man scientist in every cartoon. How's it going? Teddy Ruxpin, who's Newton Gimmick. There's a mini village called the Tinies. There's Purple Buffalo. There's a Fire Lion. There's a spreading night forest. That sounds nice. A sea of mist and a misty mountain. Feeling stones that control Fantasia's moods, kind of like Land of the Lost. And Bastion's new friend, Bark Troll, who's this wooden elf thing.
Is he like Flory?
Yeah, I guess. He's kind of like, remember when Bender was made wooden? I watched the episode called Morla's Wish because I wanted to see what Morla, the ancient one, the big turtle, looked like
what
here.
Her wish was.
So she's typically depressed. It's her and Bastion's birthday. Bastion runs to the bookstore, picks up the Neverending Story, and there's Fantasia.
He steals it, right?
Yoink.
So can he go every episode and just hop into this book? Whatever. He ends up in the Ivory Towers where TCE chores Bastion with delivering Morla's birthday gift, which is this present, little grant, whatever wish he makes. He falls into the mud and meets a chicken in red boots named Jackal, who I swear I was like, if this is Nimbly from part 2, I'm going to be so mad. I hate Nimbly.
And he who spies and flies away lives to spy another day. Hurry, Mr. Bastion!
The stupid chicken.
But you couldn't tell. What was the verdict, Adam?
It was not Nimbly. Might as well have been the Chicken Lady, though. Looks like you're lost, eh? My mom had a beautiful name. The Shadow Goblin attempts to steal Morla's wish gift for Gmoric, fails, and is saved by Jackal, who can actually fly when he takes off these dumb boots he's always wearing. At least he didn't wish for a spray can.
Yeah, don't watch this.
At the end, Morla's happy, which that's not right. I just wanted someone to tell me a story.
Yeah.
Me too.
This is craptastic. Even and especially fans of the movie should not watch it.
Some very bad tone.
Leave it in the mirror universe. Get in touch with your Orin.
So 12:30, last show, Beakman's World.
That psycho Zygon Beakman is back for more whacked out fun. Aha! It's an all new Beakman's World today on CBS.
Beakman's World. Yeah.
How about that theme song? That was 90s as hell.
This is like
season 3 or 4.
Bill Nye for kids from Brooklyn.
You know what? I never really watched Bill Nye. Does he compare much to Beakman? Are you aware of him?
You know what, Adam? I cannot tell a lie. I have not seen that much Bill Nye myself. I've seen
Me too.
Mostly Beakman. I mean,
yeah, tell the truth, I grew up watching Beakman.
Yeah. So it's weird, but you're familiar with its level of weird. There's a lazy rat man.
Yeah, Paul Zaloom plays Beakman. The late Mark Ritz plays Lester, the guy in the tattered rat costume who has a bad agent. And this season, the girl is Elizabeth Schneider replacing Alana Ubach, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
I love the Beakman World set. It kind of reminds me of the Erie, Indiana Lost Junk World, where things go when they're missing.
You're in the Bureau of Lost.
Kind of looks like the Upright Citizens Brigade layer, too.
A little bit of it reminded me of the MST3K.
That's, the toy kind of backgrounds.
Yeah.
I love the way Beakman talks to the camera. He's like a YouTube celebrity.
He's the original YouTube celebrity.
It's kind of like Brazil meets 321 Contact. So season 3 lessons included carbon, sun, sleep, and crustaceans, and frenetic pacing. I watched the episode Seeds and Bridges. We learned about the birds and the seeds, and the audience got a big applause. Illustrating bridge history, Beakman rubs a log and it makes a girly moan. We learn the origin of that footage of a car on a big warbly bridge, which is
Galloping Gertie.
It was used on Muppet Babies and the drawn together double hem logo. It was the 1940 Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse. Go ahead and look that up. It's fascinating. We learned that a square manhole cover would fall through. That's why a circle is what we use. And when they brought out glue, it made a horsey noise.
Oh, no.
And I heard the Parker Lewis Can't Lose
Whoa
in there, too, somewhere. It's just weird.
There's a lot of Looney Tunes cat getting a running start. You know, like...
Yeah, the soundtrack's kind of like Hawaiian music and farts.
You know, if you squint, does he look like a smarmy Michael Richards?
I was going to say he's got Kramer hair.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like Kramer if he was the close talker. And
yep.
I love Beakman's World. This thing's still on.
Wow.
So it's been on rerun since 92. There's very little DVD or VHS of this show. This was at least better than Mr. Wizard, who I felt always was really condescending and didn't really enjoy having to explain things.
Yeah, but he just was. It was his duty.
Like a kid would be like, the machine ate my gum or ate my quarter and I can't get it out. He'd be like, well, let me show you how machines work. And the kid's like, there goes my day.
Yeah. I found this to be accessible. You know?
I even like the pointless penguin puppets. I always thought one of them sounded like Don Lake, the Blaine historian from Waiting for Guffman. I think he did Food Lion commercials too.
Oh yeah, now don't tell me. I know what it is. Tastes so good. It's a dessert topping. You whip it yourself.
But yeah, this is an enthusiastic, fun show. Educational science comedy for all.
Big city science. You know, show this to your kids. This is really good.
So it is now the afternoon. So I guess that's the end of Saturday lineup for CBS. Next we'll be doing, Fox Kids? So we'll get to watch Bobby's World, a couple different Power Rangers type shows.
Oh, right.
And Life with Louie. This will be fun.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested.
I can't wait.
I'm kind of interested because I've never ever watched an entire episode of Power Rangers. So.
Me neither. So this will be a lot to take in.
Yeah, and Kamen Rider, which I think is
Masked Rider.
Yeah. That's the same thing. Unless
they play the theme, Kamen Rider.
I was thinking like Not all of these are cartoons, first of all.
Yeah, this schedule looks nuts.
There were no hour blocks this time around.
Was Turtles ever on for an hour? I feel like at some point
I'll bet
that
it
happened.
was. I'll bet you. And they should have done it later. They should have had the dark episodes sandwiched with the old ones, maybe.
It should have been Krang and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then you get 2 mini Krang cartoons that are a little more silly animated. And then in the middle you get the traditional Turtles.
Yeah.
See, Krang now, he's friends with some jabroni on the street and a pizza making guy. And
you call that the Slimer and the real Ghostbusters.
Luigi. So we'll catch you next Saturday morning. I'm Adam Fair. You can check me out at Adam Fairland on YouTube.
I'm Dusty Griffin, and check me out at Dusty is Certifiable on the gram.
Right on!
That's all.
So don't forget to wash your hands. Have a safe Saturday. All right. We'll see you next time.
And now, these messages.